Hi, I'm Amber from Influencer Updates on Instagram, and tonight I'm going to be talking about Ashy Bines, Elloise Fit, and Gabby Epstein. So I'm also going to be answering all of your questions, so definitely put them at the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to do my Q&As that I used to do. People really liked the last 2 weeks that I did those, so I'm going to get back into those. So first story, Ashy Bines. Oh, all my photos are out of order now. That's okay. So she revealed quite a lot this week. She has started her new podcast with the new host, Keiara. And I mean, all I really know about that relationship is Keiara is 27 and she's a life coach. I did talk about this last week, but I find that interesting because Ashy herself is 36, the same age as me. I think our birthdays are only a few days apart of each other. And yeah, so Tiana's 27, Ashy's 36, and then Ashy's husband is about 46, so that's a fair age difference between Ashy's new best friend and her husband, but they've obviously all got self-help in common, it seems. I've been told, I haven't listened to the first episode, but somebody told me that Tiana seems very driven. Like, she doesn't have kids and she seems very driven to like really make this podcast a big thing and do lots of events. And yeah, I think Ashy will really like that. But what she revealed this week is that her brand Hideaway, sorry, this is Ashy's brand Hideaway, the body brand with like moisturizers and things. In 2024, they turned over $11.32 million. So she's provided us a screenshot of her Spotify account. And yeah, they did $11.32 million of sales. This is very incredible, like massive news for an Australian business of any type. And yeah, I just didn't realize that they were selling that much stuff. She did post a few weeks ago that they have over 60 staff members, so I guess that makes sense for a business of this size. And I noticed that Britt Saunders, she in her new YouTube video, she's back on YouTube now, she mentioned this week that she has over 60 employees and she is running a 10-figure business, which means over, was it 10 figure? I'm not sure, maybe it was 8-figure, but it was basically that her turnover is over $10 million per year. So yeah, it seems that hers is about on par with Hideaway, Ashy Bines' brand. So yeah, I thought that was interesting because I would have thought Fate would have been bigger than Hideaway, but there you go, fun fact. And Ashy also posted that she was asked to speak at a Snapchat creators event, and I'm not sure where that was. It was in Australia, but the reason why she was asked to speak at that event is because she is one of Australia's biggest Snapchat creators. So I found that very interesting as well. Like, she would definitely get paid a lot for that. So every few stories on Snapchat, there is an ad, and the creator who has that ad amongst their stories, they do get a cut of the revenue for that ad. And if she's got, you know, millions of people viewing her stories every day, that would be a pretty significant cut of the profits. And I definitely think that is because she was an early adopter of Snapchat. Like, I remember, would have been 10 years ago, like she used to be on Snapchat every single day talking for an hour, and I literally used to watch her Snapchats for an hour every day, and she would just, yeah, she got a very, very big audience. I think a lot of Americans would be following her on there as well. And then also she posted a vision board this week. I noticed that there was a big 2M on the vision board, which I'm wondering if that means that her goal is to get to 2 million followers on Instagram. She's currently on 1 million, but it's one of those situations where whenever it drops below 1 million, she always tops it up. So I'm just thinking if that yeah, I don't know if how possible that would be. Maybe she means 2 million downloads on her new podcast for the year. It could definitely be that. But yeah, there are a lot of interesting things on there. I love that influencers are now showing all their vision boards. Sofa Dofa did as well, but she covered a lot of the things, which was a bit disappointing. And Emily Hembro, she showed her vision board. Nothing juicy on there though. And then finally, with the Ashy Bines news, her ex-bestie Keiara, Aussie mum vlogger, she released a YouTube video, 2 YouTube videos this week actually. It was a part 1 and part 2 Q&A. And there was a lot of stuff about their friendship breakdown in there. A few key points that Keiara mentioned was, don't underestimate what people will do with malicious intent. So I just thought that sounded like there was something malicious that happened, I suppose. She said more happened with Ashy than what you would think. Things got very nasty. Keiara saw the podcast as fun, whereas Ashy very much saw it as like a business relationship and wanted to, like, you know, make money out of it, I suppose. And Keiara and her husband were laughing on the podcast about the ruthless texts, ruthless is the word they used, that Steve had sent Kurt after everything happened. So I thought that was interesting as well. They didn't tell us what the texts were, but yeah, sounds like there was a bit of drama there. All right, let me see what the questions are. Did she mention if her mum is still involved in Hideaway? She mentioned years ago that she bought it off her mum. So it grew really big, really fast because Ashley was promoting it all the time and it was just too much for her mum. And I'm pretty sure her mum's retired now and doesn't have anything to do with the business and they bought it off her. Oh, someone's confirmed here that the 2M was her goal, Ashley's goal, as 2 million downloads for the podcast. 8-figure business would still be $99 million. It could be $99 million, but it could also be $10 million. Both of those are 8 figures, but I would say that because Brittany's calling her business a 8-figure business, it would mean lower end. Otherwise, she'd be saying it's multiple 8-figure business. Do you know what I mean? Like if it was in the 20s, that's what people seem to say. But yeah, I reckon it must be in the 10s. It could be 15 or whatever, but yeah, they've both got the same amount of staff, so that could be the same amount of turnover as well. Steve is such a snake. Have Georgia Love and Lee broken up? There is still no confirmation on that one, but the consensus is yes. Do you think YouTube is going to make a comeback? I've seen a few influencers going back, Brittany and David Dobrik. I think it did make a bit of a comeback last year. The PR, like the owner of the PR firm One Daydream, I remember in 2023, I met her for the first time, and she was saying to me that her prediction for 2024 is that YouTube is going to make a comeback. And she is very, very, very good at her job and trends and everything. And I definitely think that was true, that it did make a comeback. I noticed a lot of podcasts were posting on there, like they were doing their normal podcast and then posting on there as well, like Life Uncut. Martha, she started a vlogcast, I think it was called, where it was purely on YouTube. And yeah, now in 2025, Brittany's going back. So yeah, I definitely think it is making a comeback. And yeah, Aussie mum vlogger Keiara, she's gone back to her YouTube. I mean, she never really stopped, but she said she's not going to do a podcast anymore. She's going to stick to YouTube. And yeah, this person saying they thought YouTube was still popular. I've noticed that every creator, their views have dramatically dropped. Like it's definitely not as popular as it used to be. And I think it has been replaced with podcasts. But my prediction for 2025 is that podcasts are going to die off a bit. So maybe YouTube will be making a bit of a comeback in that way. Interesting to see if Ashley's relationship with her new co-host, her relationship with the new co-host seems really intense. They haven't known each other for very long. Interestingly, Keiara said that about hers and Ashley's friendship, that it was very intense. TikTok is great, but I love long videos while I'm doing the dishes or cooking. Agree. Georgia is a stage 5 clinger. Oh, I don't know who you're agreeing with. I didn't say that, but okay. Anna Paul and her dating the freshly 21-year-old. I mean, Anna Paul herself is only 22, 23, maybe 24. So I don't think that is gossip. It's just age appropriate. Aussie Mum Vlogger didn't hold back in her Q&A. I agree. Molly May and Tommy Fury apparently back together. I don't know about that. I think that the picture is not them because they haven't said anything about it since then, and I'm sure that Molly would be so sure about breaking up with Tommy before she announced it to the world. I don't know. Watch this space. Oh, Ashy is a stage 5 clinger. I was agreeing with Georgia. That's what the person's saying now. Adam Sullivan's new girlfriend. Yes, I've posted that to subscribers a few months ago. Her name is Avalon and she works for evidence-based training. All right, so next subject is Elloise Fit. I got a lot of messages instantly, like when I posted the preview of tonight. So many people were like, oh my gosh, Elloise, like what's happened? Nothing's happened except that she has released a video and it's gone viral very quickly. So in the video, she spoke about the fact that she has gained 20 kilos in a year. She did provide a trigger warning, so I will add that. Trigger warning, weight and eating disorders. So in that year of gaining 20 kilos, she mentioned that she had binge eating disorder. That was like she'd seen psychologists and it was like clinically diagnosed as binge eating disorder. And she had spoken to the psychologist about what her trigger was to develop this binge eating disorder. She didn't tell us as the audience what was the trigger, but she did give some examples of things that might trigger it in other people. And she had done like full blood tests and everything, trying to find if something was wrong, but no, it wasn't. It was the binge eating disorder. and that she is now on weight loss medication. It is, I guess, casually called. I guess it's more of an appetite suppressant medication. She didn't say what the medication was, but there were a lot of people guessing in the comments. She did say it's not Ozempic. She said it's not the one that starts with O, which, yeah, would be Ozempic. And a lot of people are like, oh, this sounds like Duromine. And she's like, well, it's not, but thanks. I think that's how you pronounce it. Then a lot of people were messaging me once I posted this to subscribers, and they were saying they suspect it's Vyvanse, and that is an ADHD stimulant medication. But she was mentioning in her video that the medication she's taking, it stops food noise, I think she called it. So basically it just stops her thinking about food all the time, and that she has successfully lost a lot of weight on the medication, and yeah, she's feeling really happy about it. She is just wanting to share her story because, you know, it's usually so hush-hush about this sort of thing. A lot of influencers, they do lose a dramatic amount of weight and they're like, oh, you know, just been exercising, and realistically that's probably not true. And yeah, that's about all with that one. Like, nothing juicy, but it was just very interesting because, like I said, influencers don't usually talk about this sort of thing. And I really liked the way she spoke about it, that she didn't say, yeah, what the drug was, because she didn't want to be like promoting a sort of drug. But at the same time, I straight away got on Google and I was like, this sounds amazing. Like, you know, I need this. Like, what am I going to do? I need to look this up. But yeah, it's probably good she didn't tell everyone what it was. And also, what works for her isn't going to work for everybody else. Oh, someone said they're wearing the same pajamas as me. Peter Alexander, of course. Yeah, so already here people are guessing what she's on. I don't know the answer, and she isn't going to share that information, which, as I said, is responsible. This person's saying Monjourno. Yeah, Elloise Fit. Did I not say her name? Sorry, Elloise Fit. This is her. Put her in the circle there. That's just a screenshot from her video. Wegovy and Saxenda are also other ones that are coming up in the comments here. And someone's just joining, and we're talking about Elloise Fit and her recent admission of her diagnosis with binge eating disorder and her medication that she's been taking to stop the binge eating disorder and therefore lose a lot of weight. All right, and the third story, you can ask questions about other things if you want, by the way, and I'll answer them ASAP. But yeah, the third story I wanted to talk about was Gabby Epstein. So this week, randomly, she posted a story saying, it's a picture of a bench, like a park bench in a public space, and it says, the happy to chat bench. There's a sign on it, the happy to chat bench. Sit here if you don't mind someone stopping to say hello. Really simple, really cute. It's just one of those community sort of services where you can sit there and just have a chat with someone, make their day. Anyway, she's posted a picture of it and she's written, I would literally throw up on someone if they sat next to me on a bench and started talking. This country is in shambles. There's just so much to unpack here, isn't there? I'll just repeat it. I would literally throw up on someone if they sat next to me on a bench and started talking. This country is in shambles. It's funny because it's just so mean. Anyway, she obviously got flooded with DMs about this one and has reposted a screenshot of all the DMs and said, out of all the things I've posted about, this is what you're the most upset about. Might I suggest touching some grass? Oh, sweet mother of Mary, am I actually insane, or do people not get that this is a joke? Obviously we get that it's a joke. She's not going to literally vomit on somebody if they sit next to her on a bench. Like, we get that. But it certainly doesn't mean the country is in shambles, that they've provided this public service. She simply doesn't need to sit there. And she simply doesn't need to talk to somebody. I mean, if somebody's sitting there wanting someone to talk to them and she chooses not to talk to them, well, I mean, that's on her. That's not very nice, but she really doesn't need to. The comments that she shared that have been sent to her mostly are, then don't sit there. Someone's written this could literally save someone. Like, that's true. Like, someone might just need someone to talk to. What's wrong with you? What a CUNT thing to say. What the fuck is your problem? And yeah, a whole heap of similar reactions to mine. I noticed that this then also made Tea Time Facebook group, and I think it might have made the Daily Mail. Don't quote me on that one, but yeah, this story really blew up, and yeah, I was just a little bit surprised by it, I suppose. Like, fair enough that she doesn't want to sit there and have people talk to her, but it was just the way she said the whole country's in shambles. Like, there's a lot worse things going on in the country than a community service bench. Is there a way to watch Aussie Mum Vloggers Q&A? Yes, on YouTube. You posted a few weeks or months ago about your least favourite influencers, and you mentioned it was ones that blocked you. Can you share why some blocked you? Yes, I've been asked this week if I could please do a YouTube video going through the list of those that have blocked me and why. And I think that is a really good idea because I get asked all the time, like, why has this person blocked you? Why has that person blocked you? So I'm going to do that. What a ridiculous post by Gabby, purely for engagement, surely. I don't know if it was. Maybe it was rage bait. That would make sense. Yes, I have already talked about Ashy. Do you think influencers exploit their kids for engagement or they actually don't realise? Okay, I don't think that they're intentionally exploiting their kids for engagement, but also like they don't realise necessarily. It's hard to explain. Like, there's good and bad to everything. Like, just because you share a picture of your child at the beach, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that something bad is going to happen to your child. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that yes, there are predators out there and yes, there are people with bad intentions, but you can't just be super scared of everything in life. And they have chosen this life to share their life on social media. My feelings on sharing children after the whole Alana Harris situation is that they should not be shared online. Well, at least their faces. I like what Steph Claire Smith is doing by covering her child's face. I don't like that she still shares other children's faces, but she's got a lot of criticism over covering his face because she never used to, but I think that better late than never. But yeah, I think that it's not that they don't realise, they just hope for the best. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's my answer. Julie Goodwin was saved from suicide, but 2 people talking to her to check if she was okay helped her. Love that park bench love that park bench idea. Didn't know that about Julie Goodwin, but yeah, that is really incredible, isn't it? Have you noticed Sam Guggenheimer and Izzy Armitage are not spending much time together? A few people have made a comment in their TikTok, but they keep getting deleted. I hadn't noticed. So I noticed they posted over New Year's that Grapes Under the Table video because I posted a screenshot of it, but I can't find the video now. I think it's been deleted. And yeah, they haven't posted anything together this year. Surely they haven't had a falling out. Like, they've got a podcast to run together. This would be massive. I really hope it's not true because I actually really enjoy their podcast, which is so weird because they're so much younger than me, but I actually think they have just such interesting lives. But yeah, watch this space with that one. Izzy Armitage is one of... Dominica Calaco has actually written this. Izzy Armitage is one of the worst tan line trend perpetrators and no one talks about it. I think a lot of people do talk about this one. I definitely talk about this one. She is definitely one of the worst perpetrators. So on the podcast Stylish, which is an shameless podcast, it's called Stylish, they mentioned this week that a big brand had used an influencer to create a TikTok ad for their brand, and the influencer was visibly sunburnt in the ad. Immediately, I went to TikTok and I was like, okay, who are the biggest offenders? I'm going to look them up and see if it's about them. Straight away, I looked up Izzy Armitage because I agree. She's one of the worst tan line trend perpetrators. I looked up Sammy Robinson, but I was wrong there. She does not have tan lines. I looked up M. Davies, and again, I was wrong there. She doesn't really have the tan line trend going on except for some recent posts. And then I was like, of course, it's Tammy Hembrow. Tammy had a melanoma removed only a few months ago and was saying she hadn't worn sunscreen prior to that, and now she's going to start. But she definitely hasn't started. She is a tan line perpetrator. And yes, I definitely think a lot of people are talking about it. It is a big topic at the moment because tan lines are very much back on trend, and it is summer in Australia. Oh, I'm puffed from saying all that. Do you think Rachel Dillon is pregnant? I don't know. The only clue I've got is that she has said that she has some big news to share with us all. She said it over New Year's, and I think that might be the news. She has said that she is undergoing fertility treatment and trying to get pregnant, so it would be very exciting news for her, no doubt. But yeah, she hasn't announced anything yet. I find it hard to connect with Ashy now as she promotes being open and wanting to make connections with her audience, yet refuses to talk about a relationship breakdown that the audience was invested in. I totally agree with this, and Keiara mentioned it in her Q&A. So Keiara was saying it really surprises her how Ashy has tried to make this whole friendship breakdown look like it's all sunshine and rainbows, and that's really not true, and she's not being honest, whereas Keiara is trying to be honest about it all. And yeah, I agree, like it's really made me see Ashy differently. Like I just want her to say, okay, yeah, it broke down because I did something wrong. Like, that's all she kind of needed to say. It's a bit disappointing. Any updates on the Alana Harris situation? No. I mean, there still is the podcast called Poisoned. I think they took a break over the new year, but I feel like they've got a new episode I need to listen to, but that would be the only update that I can think of. Updates on Sophie Guidolin. Oh, nothing off the top of my head, nothing dramatic. I mean, she was talking about how someone asked her on a date and she said no, but that was about it really that I can think of. Aussie mum vlogger also has the tan line. She's wearing like a high neck t-shirt in the latest vlog, but yeah, that's probably possible as well. Thoughts on Tasha Whitmore's engagement? I mean, I just don't really care about Tasha Whitmore at all. Like, I feel I know nothing about her. She's one of those influencers that just posts lots of like hot girl pics and never engages with her audience that I know of. Like, I never see her on stories. I don't even know if she has TikTok. I don't think she would talk to the camera if she does. But yeah, I just don't know anything about her. But she does seem to live a very affluent lifestyle, so no doubt the wedding will be Pinterest perfect or Insta perfect, whatever you want to call it, and very lavish. All right, well, that is all the questions answered. So thanks all so much for joining. And if you do have any other questions, always send me a DM because I love talking about influencers, obviously. And I will see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.